The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
All right, good evening and welcome to Weyburn City Council for Tuesday, April 7th. Obviously, we're one day behind because of the Easter long weekend, so welcome everybody back from that. A bit of an agenda here tonight. I will note before we get started, Councillors Corrigan and Sedlowski are unavailable tonight. But other than that, it is business as usual. We've got a bit of work to do, some reports to go through, and a little bit of business to take care of. So, first order of business, I will ask for a motion to approve the minutes from the April 9th meetings. That's not right. From the last set of meetings anyways. March 23rd.
Your Worship, I will move that the minutes from regular council meeting and strategic planning priorities meeting held on March 23rd, 2026, not April 9th, which is in the future, be approved as presented. Thanks,
Councillor Janke. Does anybody like to second that motion?
I will second that, Your Worship.
Very good, thanks. Any errors, omissions, or input or corrections on those required? No. Okay, hearing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Next up is the agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda, administration?
No additions tonight, Your Worship.
Council? No, hearing none. We'll continue ahead. Public hearings and notices, we have none tonight. Reports of standing committees. So, I'm sorry, pardon me, no delegations, proclamations, or petitions either. Reports of standing committees. Are there any councillors who have reports from any of their committees that they sit on you'd like to share with us? Councillor Bador.
So super excited that our Summer Games Committee met for the first time here last week. It is, you know, as always, the City of Weyburn produces great people and great athletes, but also a great bunch of volunteers. So super happy with the group. More details to come out this week about who's on the team, but I can leak it to you right now. I am on that team.
Scandalous. Scandalous. Thank you, Councillor Bador. We are, yeah, that's a huge, huge thing coming up for the City of Weyburn. Anybody else? Nope. Okay, hearing no more, we'll move on. We have one item on the consent agenda, so we'd look for a motion to get that on the floor, please.
Your Worship, I'll make the motion that Council approve the following item on the consent agenda, which is the Fire Chief's report for February and March of 2026.
Okay,
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. Any questions on this? Hearing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you very much. All right, we have a few motions to take care of. First off is accounts payable.
I get the next motion as well, Your Worship. So I will make the motion that the purchases from March 1st, 2026 to March the 31st, 2026 in the amount of $1,779,122.57 be approved for payment. And those purchases include quick pays of $3,858.80, accounts payable of $1,003,455.75, direct withdrawals of $770,473.09, and debit card transactions of $1,334.93.
Thank you. Want to get a seconder?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
All right. Any questions on that? Hearing none. If there was questions, it would go to the city manager tonight. So if anybody's got a good question, no. Okay. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Next up, we will look to the city manager for the report on the new governance committee, please.
Yeah, thanks, Your Worship. So the mayor and or council of the City of Weyburn establish committees, commissions, and boards, and appoint members of council and or citizens to members of those bodies in accordance with the Cities Act and the City of Weyburn's council procedures bylaw. Council has established a governance committee to support council in fulfilling its governance responsibilities. So the governance committee is intended to strengthen the effectiveness accountability, and transparency of the municipal governance. The committee operates in an advisory capacity to council and provides leadership and oversight related to governance structure, council effectiveness, strategic planning processes, and senior administrative oversight. In accordance with the approved terms of reference, the governance committee is composed of the mayor and 2 members of council appointed by resolution of council, with the mayor serving as the chair unless otherwise directed by council. So I am recommending that council appoint Mayor Richards, Councillor Corrigan, Councillor Morissette to the governance committee.
Thank you. A motion?
Your worship, I'll motion that council appoint Mayor Richards, Councillor Corrigan, Councillor Morissette to the governance committee as presented.
Thank you. Seconder?
Your worship, I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Bador. Okay, any questions on this? Councillor Morissette.
Thank you, Your Worship. Matthew, are there other communities looking to do this as well, to make themselves more transparent and more accountable across the province of Saskatchewan?
Yeah, so we're seeing, Councillor Morissette, there is some other cities who actually have this in place. Many of them are larger than what Weyburn is. It's really important for the city to have this committee in place because it does provide a little more support on things like reviewing strategic planning, reviewing our council procedures bylaw. There's some oversight on management of the city manager, that's recruitment, all those kind of things that way. So there's a lot of work that's done by that committee, but we're seeing that more so from the larger municipalities, not from the smaller cities in Saskatchewan.
Thank you.
Councillor Janke?
Not so much a question, but I do applaud the 3 of you for stepping up and taking this on. I think it's very valuable for our municipality to have this.
Yeah, thanks. All right, so we have a motion on the floor. If there's no more questions, then I will call all in favor. That is carried. Thank you very much. Yeah, it is a good thing. It's a lot of work, but we'll be better for it. Next up, we'll look to the Director of Engineering for recommendations for manhole refurbishment.
Thank you, Your Worship. The City of Weyburn has an allocated $65,000 in the Utility Operating Fund for the 2026 manhole refurbishment. On February 19th, 2026, a request for proposal was posted on the online bidding portal Bids and Tenders, SAS Tenders, and the city's website. Quotations were to be received by the City of Weyburn on Thursday, March 26th at 1 p.m., and a total of 2 proposals were received. We received a proposal from Top Shot Concrete and Carrier McGill Enterprises. All proposals submitted were evaluated with a weighted score on the selection criteria consisting of proposed fees for 50%, relevant project experience for 40%, and methodology for 10%. Top Shot Concrete Limited ranked highest in the bid evaluation and met all RFP requirements. It is recommended that the 2026 manhole refurbishment project be awarded to Top Shot Concrete Inc. as for a bid for a total of $55,332,000, including PSD.
Thank you. Can we get a motion for this, please?
Your worship, I'll move that the 2026 manhole refurbishment project be awarded to Top Shot Concrete Inc. as bid for a total of $55,332, including PST.
Thank you. And a seconder?
I'll second that, Your worship.
Thank you. All right, questions, commentary on this one for the Director of Engineering? Well, this is an easy one then. I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, let's go on to introduction of bylaws. So this is a zoning amendment, and we will look to Planning and Development Coordinator Malcolm to start us off with this one.
Thank you, Your Worship. A zoning amendment bylaw application and a official community plan amendment application has been submitted by Scott Moffett of Game Gremlins Limited. The amendment is to change the zoning of lands legally described as Block 72, Lot 31 and 32, Plan 101447209, from residential semi-detached to neighborhood commercial. The property is privately owned with the intention of having the second floor remain residential and the first floor for retail use. If council gives first reading at this meeting, public notices will be sent out in accordance with the city's public notice policy for the public hearing to occur on April 27th, 2026. At the regular council meeting, notices will be advertised in the April 8th and April 15th edition of the Weyburn Review, posted at City Hall and on the city's website. So the proposal is for Game Gremlins Limited to develop the first floor of the property for gaming retail and have an apartment unit on the upper floor of the property. And assigned parking for both residential and commercial use will be developed within the rear of the property, designed to eliminate the need for backing and maneuvering from or onto Government Road. Each intended development are permitted uses identified in the zoning bylaw. The OCP and zoning amendments are required to facilitate such commercial activities, as the subject property is currently zoned residential semi-detached, which does not allow for commercial development. And that's just the location of the map right there. The property is currently designated as residential semi-detached. The applicant is requesting that the parcel be designated neighborhood commercial on the land use designation map of the OCP. The purpose of this designation is to provide locations for business establishments of limited gross floor area to serve the day-to-day commercial and personal service needs of residents in the residential neighborhoods. Zoning bylaw. The property is currently zoned residential semi-detached. The applicant has requested that the lands be rezoned to neighborhood commercial, which would allow for the establishment of both business and residential opportunities categorized as retail store and dwelling units under permitted uses. And there's just a table showing you the uses allowed in the neighborhood commercial zone. The official community plan amendments must be approved by the Minister of Government Relations after final readings of bylaw 2026-3515. It will be submitted to the province for ministerial approval. Both bylaws will take effect upon ministerial approval. So council options, option 1, council gives first reading to bylaw 2026-3514, being a bylaw to amend the zoning bylaw to rezone the above-mentioned lands from residential semi-detached to neighborhood commercial. Council gives first reading to bylaw 2026-3515, being a bylaw to amend the official community plan to designate the above-mentioned land as neighborhood commercial on the future land use and land use designation map. Council directs administration to advertise bylaws 2026-3514 and 2026-3515 as per the public notice policy. And then option 2, council refused to give first reading to bylaws 2026-3515 and 2026-3514 and direct administration to advise the applicant of refusal. Any officer making a motion for refusal shall provide reasons for the refusal. So recommendation that council approve option 1 to give first reading to both bylaws 2026-3514 and 2026-3515 to amend the zoning bylaw and official community plan as mentioned above.
Okay, thank you. That was a lot. We have 2 things in we have to do tonight, so there's going to be 2 separate motions. First, let's do 3514, which will be first reading of the zoning amendment.
Your worship, I'll make the motion that council gives first reading to bylaw 2026-3514, being a bylaw to amend the zoning bylaw to rezone the lands described in the report from residential semi-detached, which is R2, to neighborhood commercial.
Thank you. And a seconder?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Thanks, Councillor Higgs. Okay, so this is the zoning amendment. Any questions on this at this point? Councillor Bador.
Just one question. Do we have any of these properties zoned neighborhood commercial already in Weyburn? I've never heard of it, but that doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah, we do have a few properties scattered around town. One such one would be the Kuya Wayne's store. That one is located as neighborhood, that one is zoned as neighborhood commercial. That's the first one I can think of right now.
Thank you.
Councillor Budor, if I can add to that, there was a realtor of reasonable repute on the corner of Bison Avenue and 2nd Street for a number of years in the exact same zoning configuration.
Okay. So if there's no other questions, Then we'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. So next up is the OCP amendment. So Coordinator Malcolm, do you want to speak to that separately? I think you've spoke to it already in the original piece, so we can just call the question for the motion. Yeah, good. So if I get a motion for that one, please.
Worship, I move that council gives first reading to bylaw 2026-3515, being a bylaw to amend the official community plan to designate the lands listed in the report as neighborhood commercial on the future land use and land use designation map.
Thank you very much. And a seconder?
Worship, I'll second that motion.
Thank you. All right, I will ask then one last time. Any questions on this? Although it's related, it is a different motion, but very good. Hearing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor? Thank you very much. So we will come back in a few weeks with the second and third reading and any feedback that we get from the public. Right on. Thank you very much. So Coordinator Malcolm, it looks like it's you for the rest of the night. We have no unfinished business. New business. Next up is a home-based business application. So we'll ask you to walk us through that.
Okay. So an application has been received from Annie Alpuerto to operate a personal service home-based business, which is a bakery, out of their residence at 219 Government Road Southwest, legally described as Lot 1, Block 58, Plan M4926, located in the R2 zone. It would be considered a controversial use as the business involves clients being directed to the home throughout the day. The proposed hours of operation are Monday to Sunday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. The applicant anticipates minimal traffic increase with at least one vehicle per pickup, with on-street parking along 3rd Avenue adjacent to the home being utilized. The zoning bylaw does require that controversial home-based businesses, which involves clients attending the home, go through the neighborhood notice process and receive council approval. Neighborhood notices were mailed out on March 13, 2026 to all neighbors within a 50-meter radius of the applicant's home. Residents receiving the notice were given the opportunity to comment on the application, and no concerns or objections were received. All right, so planning review. Home-based businesses are a permitted use, meaning that landowners do have the right to undertake the use in accordance with the bylaw, unless provisions of the bylaw are specifically contravened. Home-based businesses generally must meet the following provisions. 1, be incidental to the use of the premises as a residence, be compatible with residential uses, be limited in extent in terms of volume of material sold and number of clients, not substantially increase the volume of traffic, and not detract from the residential character of the zone. The use identified would be considered a controversial occupation under Section 5.1.19 of the zoning bylaw, as clients will be directed to the home. Staff have reviewed the application and are of the opinion that the home-based business application does meet the requirements within the bylaw. So, decision options, option 1. Council approves home-based business permit 2026.001 at 219 Government Road Southwest, subject to the following conditions. No person other than the resident of the dwelling unit shall be engaged in the home-based business as an employee or volunteer. No advertisement carrying the address of the dwelling in which the home-based business occurs may be placed in any media. The home-based business shall not occupy more than 25% of the gross floor area of the dwelling. The face of any home-based business sign on site must not exceed 0.092 meters square and must be placed within the inside half of the front yard setback. The permit would only be valid for the above address and is non-transferable to another address. Reapplication will be required if the business moves location. Home-based businesses are subject to periodic review to ensure compliance, and the applicant's driveway can be used for off-street parking for the clients. And a City of Weyburn business license shall be obtained prior to operation of the business. Option 2, refusal of the home-based business permit, 2026.001 at 219 Government Road Southwest. A permitted use must have a reason for refusal. Staff recommendation that council approves option 1, being the approval of the home-based business permit 2026.001 for 219 Government Road Southwest, subject to the conditions listed above.
All right. Thank you. If I get a motion for this one, please.
Your Worship, I move that council approve option 1, being the approval of home-based business permit number 2026.001 for 219 Government Road Southwest, subject to the conditions as listed in the report.
Thank you.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
All right. Questions on this? No? None? Pretty straightforward. Thanks for your work on this one. So I'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. And one last one, Coordinator Malcolm, for you, and this is a property sale, another good news story.
Okay, so the city received an application from Chris Moser to purchase the property at 216 Water Street for the total price of $12,000 on the condition that the city provides a surveyor's real property report for the parcel. A review of records indicates that no such reports are currently listed in the property files. The city took possession of the property January 31st, 2023, and conducted the demolition of the building on site due to it being structurally unsound. The lot is serviced and zoned residential semi-detached, or R2. Rezoning would not be necessary. The intention of the purchase is to build a dwelling unit or a duplex, which would consider the size of the lot. The city currently sells commercial bare land at $12,000 plus taxes per acre. This land is bare land and measures approximately 0.14 acres. The sale would be contingent upon the following conditions. 1, the dwelling unit duplex must be completed within 2 years of the date of the building permit being issued. The dwelling unit duplex must be finished graded in the front yard and have a finished hard surface driveway. Off-site development levies for multifamily residential dwellings are calculated at $2,233.50 per door and are separate from the purchase price. Development levies would apply to this property. So council options, option 1, approve the sale of 216 Water Street to Chris Moser for a total purchase price of $16,467 plus taxes, which includes the offered price of $12,000 plus the off-site development levies of $2,230 per dwelling unit, with the city to provide a real property report and subject to the conditions outlined above. Option 2, approve the sale of 216 Water Street to Chris Moser for a total purchase price of $16,467 plus taxes, inclusive of off-site development levies, subject to the conditions outlined above. Option 3, provide a counter offer for the sale of 216 Water Street to Chris Moser, who offered an initial purchase price of $12,000, on the condition that the city provides a real property report. Option 4, deny the sale of 216 Water Street to Chris Moser, who offered a purchase price of $12,000 with the city to provide a real property report. Reason for refusal would have to be provided by the person making the motion. So staff recommendation that council approves option 2, approving the sale of 216 Water Street to Chris Moser for a total purchase price of $16,467 plus taxes, inclusive of off-site development levies and subject to the conditions outlined above.
Thanks, Coordinator Malcolm. Okay, let's get a motion, get it on the floor.
Your Worship, I'll move that council approve option number 2, approving the sale of 216 Water Street to Chris Moser for the total purchase price of $16,467 plus taxes, inclusive of off-site development levies and subject to the conditions listed in the report.
Your Worship, I would second that motion.
Thank you. All right, any questions or commentary on this one? Councillor Higgs.
Coordinator Malcolm, in your report, you say that it's already zoned residential, but then you refer to commercial bare land at $12,000.
Yeah, that's just to show that we sell bare land, but mostly commercial, and that's the price that we normally list it as. Residential is normally different, but for bare land, that's the price we do.
Oh, okay, so is this Is this a residential lot we're selling, or is this a
It's
commercial
a
lot?
residential lot, but I just made reference to how we sell our commercial lots at 12,000 per acre, because there's no set price for that lot right now.
Okay.
Councillor Morissette?
Thank you, Your Worship. Coordinator Malcolm, because this particular property is located right on the flood fringe, is there anything that the purchaser is going to have to do to bring it up to code before he starts building?
Yeah, so normally for any property located on the flood fringe or in the floodway, they do have to build it up to the 1 to 500 year flood requirements, which is about a meter above the average height of the river right now.
And he's aware of this?
Yes.
Thank you.
Other questions? Yeah, I will, I think I'll just jump in on Councillor Haig's question. I think what I'm hearing, normally any residential lots that we have currently for sale, we have a list price for those.
Correct.
This particular piece of property, because we took it, we had to do some work, quite a bit of work. We had to tear down an existing structure and do a bit of work. We didn't really have a list price for it. The developer came to us and said, I'd like to get my hands on that. We said, we'd love to sell it to you. How do we price it? Well, the best thing we can do is use our bare land pricing and take it down to that much of an acre. Is that how you came up with that price?
That is correct.
Does that help? Even though, because we don't have bare land pricing, if I might, we don't have bare land pricing for residential lots.
Correct.
We have residential lots for sale,
Yes.
and they have a price on them.
Yes, but we have been selling them at a lower price than what we have listed.
Okay. This is just substantially lower than even the lowest one we've sold, that's all.
I'm sorry, what was that?
This is even substantially lower than any of the ones we've sold before.
Yeah, and this lot is substantially smaller than the ones that we normally sell to.
Okay, thank you. Should ask that question up to staff.
Yeah, I think, I know you have it in here, and I'm not going to try to find it. This is a very small lot, say compared to the ones we have up on the northeast corner there.
Correct.
Yeah, it would be maybe even half, if that
Half,
size.
yeah.
Right? Yeah, very, very small, very small. If I may, I just a couple of questions. By the way, I will support this. I want to make sure that I understand really the differences between option 1 and option 2 are that real property report.
Correct.
That are the differences.
Yes.
I realize your language is a little different in the two, but the development levies and everything are all rolled into that 16,467.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thanks. All right. If there's nothing else, then we will call the question. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Thanks for that. Okay, look, we're at the end already. Let's move forward to inquiries and announcements. Councillor Higgs.
I think, Director of Engineering, if I could have just a quick question in regards to where we're at with the boiled water advisory and the progress that you've been making there?
Yes, absolutely. So we completed additional sampling as per Water Security Agency requirements. The samples have been received by the provincial lab. They're just undergoing testing right now. We expect to see results by end of day tomorrow at the earliest, beginning of the day Thursday at the latest. So we'll be able to provide an update then after Water Security Agency reviews the sample results as well. So yeah, we know this has been very disruptive, so I just want to say thank you to the residents for being patient and yeah.
Yeah, no, great, and I appreciate the work that you guys and your staff have done to do this. It's been great. It's always a challenging thing when major infrastructure goes down like this, so thank you.
Other inquiries and announcements? Councillor Baddour.
Your Worship, I've pleasantly asked that we do business tonight, but make sure we're not lollygagging because there is a Red Wing game tonight. And we're pretty excited. Our team split up there in Flin Flon, which is a tough task. And as I understand it, Weyburn actually was the first team to beat Flin Flon in regular time all season long in their own barn. So kudos to them, and good luck tonight and tomorrow night.
Right on. Thank you. And we don't generally lollygag, although it has happened perhaps once in the past. Yeah, is nothing, yeah, Councilor Morissette?
Thank you, Your Worship. Now that all the fun stuff is over, as people are cleaning out their garages and stuff, the spring book sale at the library is coming up Thursday, April 23rd, Friday, April 24th, and Saturday, April 25th. Just double checking here, but donations can start being dropped off at the library April the 13th. And if you have kiddos looking for volunteer hours, or you want to get out and help support the library, you can talk to any of the library staff, and they would be more than happy to sign you up for a shift.
Thank you very much. That's exciting. That's where I get my best books.
Yes.
If there's nothing else, once again, Renee, to you and Jehoon and the team, thank you for a quick response that morning and for your diligence since. That has been fantastic. So please relay that to the team as well. Thank you. All right, administration, if there's nothing more, we have no notice of motion. Then we will call this meeting. Oh, I did want to recognize two members of the Weyburn Police Service that are with us here tonight. Almost called Counselor Patricio. This is good things in the future, my friend. Constable Patricio and Constable Roy, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for, by the way, hosted me on a ride-along a week or so ago. The real highlights didn't make it onto the highlight reel. I had to keep those. No, it was a very exciting evening in the city of Weyburn. But thanks, gentlemen, for coming up tonight. We appreciate that very much. And with that, we will call the meeting adjourned. Thank you.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today